welcome to another episode of Star Wars Doctrine. I'm your host, Cody Dastrup, and with me is my co-host, Baby Yoda.
Okay.
Just kidding. My co-host is Logan, but Baby Yoda is the star of the show.
Yes, we're actually both Baby Yoda's co-hosts.
Yeah, that's so true. He's the main host here on Star Wars Doctrine. Well, today we just want to talk to you guys about the new trailer that dropped for Star Wars Squadrons, which we're incredibly excited about.
We're super excited about it being the first flight simulator Star Wars game focused in basically 20 years. So it's been a long time coming and we're excited to see it, and from what we've seen from the trailer and the information they've dropped, it looks spectacular. So we're going to be looking at the trailer today and talking about some of the information that is going around for this, well, #1 trending on YouTube video. So we'll go ahead and watch the trailer together and break down some of the interesting things we're seeing. Alright, we have it is by EA Motive, and this is going to be game engine footage. There's no actual gameplay. That will be dropping June 18th.
Yeah, a couple days. Not too long, thankfully.
Over at EA Play.
It's really interesting because it gives you, like, I mean, it's hard to know with how much of this isn't actually game footage, but some of the views look really cool. Really clean. Especially, like, you know, it'd be interesting to see what the first person view looks like. That
is something I think I'm most excited for, to see exactly what we're going to be able to see. Like seeing around in the cockpit, for example, you saw her speed on the Rebel ship, and that was really interesting because that's kind of comparable to what we've seen in Star Wars Battlefront 2, where they have the speed one. You can control the speed very well, and it kind of has a similar readout function. Right. But that definitely looked cleaner, and also was very close to what we've seen in like The Last Jedi. There's Hera. Of
course, Hera. Yeah, which everyone's been freaking about. Which is awesome. I mean, if you're gonna have a pilot game, that's perfect.
X-Wings. Ooh, pretty. I just want to see what the first person is really going to look like. Is that it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because that looks good.
It looks pretty good.
Wedge.
Nice.
Antilles,
just amazing. Now
that was pretty good.
In flight.
Look at that bomber.
Then your A-Wing, your
Y-Wing. TIE bomber. TIE fighter. Those helmets look sick.
They really do. Oh, look at that. Torpedoes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we don't get to fly first-person torpedoes. I think that died in 2005.
Too original, you could. It was kind of cool.
Mouse droid.
Oh, I didn't even realize that first time. I like the Trandoshan and some of the different species they have on each
totally
squad.
Isn't it? I love seeing the droid.
It's just pretty right here. Like the sunset-looking clouds, and that just coming up through the clouds, the Star Destroyer.
Really dig those helmets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're
see, like, if you fly like this, because that's not bad, honestly.
No.
Like, I could deal with that. Pilots wanted.
It's interesting, because the first person that you get in Battlefront, we both agree, is kind of hard to fly with.
Yeah, depending on the ship,
it's pretty, it's okay, cool, but it's still kind of
like
hard.
The X-Wing is practically impossible, I feel like.
Yeah, you can't see near as much, and so third person gives you such a better view. I worry personally, like, I'm not usually a first-person gamer. I like third-person in general because I like to appreciate how pretty the ship looks, or the person that you're playing as, the armor, things like that.
Right.
Which is such a cool part of Star Wars. But so I am kind of like, that's the one thing that I'm kind of hesitant with this game. Pretty much everything else I'm like super pumped for. I'm just wondering how it'll be to play first-person.
Right. So if you do not know, this game will be exclusively first-person, and that in part has to do with the fact that the game is going to be one of the largest cross-platform games we've seen. It's the first time in Star Wars that we've seen a cross-platform game, which I'd have to give props to EA for actually doing. Yeah, we did not expect that.
It's something they should have done with Battlefront.
Yes, and so it will be available on the Xbox, on the PlayStation, and for the first time in virtual reality. Yeah. So it'll be a VR game that is actually possible for the VR through computer and through the PlayStation to be played with an Xbox.
Right,
with
like
the PlayStation.
You can play against, like, if you're playing an Xbox, you can play someone on PlayStation, which is just awesome. You know?
And then you can play with your other friend who has a headset on playing VR, and that'll be really interesting, and I think is a huge part on why this game has to be first person.
That makes sense. You couldn't have a virtual reality game third person, right?
That'd be so weird. What do you do, like fly like this? I'm an X-Wing. Like, pretty stupid.
It takes 2 people because you have to have 4 arms.
There you go. It takes 2 people. Makes a really good General Grievous next. But so that'll be exciting. But like Cody was saying, I do think the first person is definitely something that's difficult And when you fly in the games, most people have agreed when we're streaming on Twitch, we get a lot of feedback like that, where it's like, yeah, I hate flying in first person. I can't do it. Or I love flying in first person. I just crash into everything, which doesn't seem better.
Yeah.
So one of the things that is really interesting, we'll go a little bit of a breakdown about this game. Star Wars has released some good and helpful information right off the bat. You will play in a smaller story style game, and it will follow both the formation of the New Republic. This will be taking place right after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, which is exciting.
And which is the same time period as Battlefront 2's
campaign.
Inferno Squadron. I know Cody's hoping Iden shows up.
Always. Love Iden.
So we will get to play as both the New Republic and the remnants of the Empire, which is very exciting. You won't actually have to restart the game and you don't get to pick one side. You get to play both sides from the information we have right now, and you'll simultaneously get to hop between missions for either side.
For each side, yeah.
But you'll be playing you'll have two players. You'll have two people that you're worried about, your Republic person and your Empire person, that you'll be leveling up and gaining upgrades for your ship on both sides simultaneously as you hop between the two for the story.
Yeah, and it sounds like there's going to be a little bit of customization with your suits, helmets, and your ships as well. Even like something like the dash controls, things like that you can customize, which I think is going to be really fun.
Right, here's a list that Star Wars gave us. I'm excited about it. And this is a good point. We'll talk about this for microtransactions. It's saying that you'll be able to earn everything through moving up in the ranks to modify and enhance your starfighters, including different weapons, hulls, engines, shields, and then of course cosmetics, which is almost more important than getting better guns. Cockpit, ship exteriors, flight suits, helmets, and then bonuses. So
all unlocked via gameplay,
which is a huge important thing, and a thing we're worried about whenever we're dealing with EA, unfortunately. But they have done well with Battlefront 2 and Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah. So from the statements that they're making, it appears they're trying to make it known that, hey, you're not going to have to buy these things. You're not going to have to it's not a pay to win kind of game at all. And obviously they want that front and center. Now I'm not saying that doesn't mean they won't allow you to maybe buy some cooler skins later, but they're not going to let you buy things that will just make you also, you can't just pay to beat the game.
It won't be pay to win.
Yeah, you won't have an advantage over someone because you spent money on the game and they didn't. You're all going to be able to level up, things like that, and that's important and that's awesome.
Right. The two squadron we'll be flying as the New Republic will be known as the Vanguard Squadron, which is kind of following along with the Alphabet Squadron book. Yeah,
because that's actually, they belong to like Hera's. They're one of Hera's squadrons, right? From what I understand. I haven't read Alphabet Squadron yet, although I've heard good things, but supposedly that's one of Hera's.
So we'll be following along, and that's why we got to see Hera in that breakdown of the trailer.
Which is an awesome cameo.
Which is wonderful to see her, and then cool that we're continuing her presence and past the Rebels storyline.
Makes you wonder if we'll see the Ghost at all.
We will see the Ghost. There's no way. It'll come in and save the day one time.
That'd be awesome.
And then you'll get to see the Galactic Empire's Titan Squadron, which we don't know much about.
Don't know anything.
But it will have new characters, and then, as we've said, these cameo from characters we already know. Obviously, Wedge and Hera among them. Hopefully, Iden, which would make sense.
Makes sense, yeah. Well, because it says there's going to be cameos, and makes it sound like there'll be cameos on both sides of light and dark side, right? So if we have two for the light side already, then who are we going to get on the dark side? A lot of people are dead, right? So,
yeah, Vader, no.
Yeah.
Palpatine, no. Well, that's basically everybody I knew.
Right, so Iden makes sense, I guess.
Right.
She would probably still be dark at the beginning, right?
And then Jar Jar Rod is dead on the new in that battle as well. So a lot of the officers we know are gone and dead. So it will be interesting to see.
Battlefront 2 campaign people.
Right.
Hask and some of those guys.
Hask, Miko, and then of course Iden. Iden's really the one we care about.
Yeah.
But it is available for pre-order right now,
mm-hmm.
Which you can bet I'll be spending right now. And it is only coming in at $40, which is really cheap and has, of course, been the concern for the microtransactions. But I think we should hold off and wait till June 18th.
To start judging them?
To start judging them about the potential microtransactions.
$40, a lot of people were like, oh, that means they're going to charge you for loot crates and stuff. And I was like, that's not what it gave me. To me, it just gave the vibe of maybe this is going to be a little bit smaller of a game.
Right. They have been talking about that it's supposed to have a small multiplayer and a small storyline.
Right.
I mean, there's going to be different modes that you can play on the multiplayer.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about the multiplayer will be you and 4 people forming your squadron of 5, just like will be in a storyline, fighting off against another 5. And there will be different objectives and just straight dog fighting from the understanding.
It also seemed like there was some sort of form of strategy involved where you like
come up that was something
plans.
I was super excited about.
Yeah, and I don't think I've really seen anything quite like that before, but like you'll meet with your team prior to the space battle and actually try to come up with some of the strategies that you'll do when you're out fighting and figure out how to take down in these space battles and things like that. So
yeah, it's very exciting to think about the possibility of seeing and planning. And just talking about having like a little bit of like simulation before you go, and I think that's really interesting that it wasn't just like, all right, guys, fly, go handle this, and not just like an upgrade screen. It was actually going to have.
Well, it seems like it's going to be more immersive, really make you feel like a pilot. Like when you play Space Battle on Battlefront 2 right now, it's like, okay, just start, you're flying already. This seems like, no, you're going to pull out of your Star Destroyer's hangar, and you're going to obviously be in the debriefing sessions and things like that. So it's going to have a little bit more to really immerse you in the fact that you're going to feel like a pilot. And that's exciting. I personally didn't play a lot of the Squadron, the like Rogue Squadron, some of those games. I just never really did, and I've heard such good things over time, and I never got around to go back and play them. So I'm definitely excited for this.
It's definitely an exciting thing, and I think it's a fun genre because I mean, okay, everyone wants a lightsaber, fact. But I think we've also all wanted to fly and be a Star Wars fighter pilot, always.
Our whole lives, right? Yeah, exactly. Everyone, you dream about what kind of ship you'll have. And
it's really cool and really fun to talk about the different ships in Star Wars. I mean, and we're going to see some of the ships that we've loved. I mean, I don't think we get to fly the Falcon, which sucks. But then again, honestly, I feel like in first person I would crash the entire left side of the Falcon repeatedly.
It's all on the right side.
You just be like, there's half the ship. And have Obi-Wan in there. At least we're flying half a ship.
Right.
I don't think that works with the Falcon. But it's definitely an exciting time, and we will know more come June 18th. So if you're
a couple days.
Yeah. So, 2 days from now, basically. So if you all do have any reservations, give it 2 days and let me know what you think then.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the gameplay footage and get some little bit more information on EA Play. So.
Right. And thinking about just what we've seen in Star Wars Battlefront 2, the fighting controls from 1 and 2 are different.
Yeah.
Battlefront 1 had very simplistic, actually, controls, which a lot of people enjoyed. But it was actually still very beautiful. You flew a ship pretty easily. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
And the couple missions you have to do for the mission modes, basically.
Yeah.
And then you have the Battlefront 2, which got a little more in depth, having a speed control and then a steering control. And I thought that was also interesting. It made it a lot harder to fly the ship because you're doing a lot more.
And I anticipate it'll be more like that.
And I'm thinking we're going to get even more controls. But hopefully, because a lot of you can look this up, but basically everyone has always said that the fighter simulations that we've had in the past were in depth, but a lot easier to control because you controlled everything. So it was, you felt like you were doing a little bit more. And let's be real, that's what we want, is just to have the control of the ship and do cool maneuvers.
Oh, it's all, once again, it all comes down to that immersive type style, right? And if they're going to VR it, then immersive is what people are going for.
So this is supposed to be one of the most immersive games we've ever seen in Star Wars history. And it is the first cross-platform, which just makes it more exciting because for maybe the first time you'll be able to play with your buddy who has the PlayStation for whatever reason. Or the Xbox if you, for some reason, like the PlayStation. I don't know. But
we'll absolutely be streaming it on Twitch when it comes out October 2nd. So you can catch it there. Give us a follow on Twitch if you haven't already. And we're playing Battlefront 2 right now.
Less than 4 months away, and we'll be playing this game together. So I'm excited, and I'm definitely going to be rocking an X-Wing sometime soon.
Thank you guys so much, and as always, may the Force be with you.